So I'm going to show my ID, my card, front and back. If everyone would wave. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. If you could please open your PowerPoint presentation that I provided, we'll get started. After the COVID quarantine that we've all endured, a lot of people are eager to get out and start traveling. Imagine a place where you can encounter live volcanoes, a rainforest so steamy it has permanent cloud cover, and long stretches of white sandy beaches, all in the same day. Today, I'm going to give you information about Costa Rica and the pros and cons about visiting the country. I've traveled to Costa Rica many times, and I have conducted a lot of research about the country and the different areas around it. Here are some of the information that you need to decide whether or not traveling to this country sounds like a great option for you. First, if you'll go to slide 2, you'll see some of the basics about Costa Rica. It is a country in Central America that is bordered to the north and south by Nicaragua and Panama, and to the east and west by the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean. Getting there is really simple. It's just a 2-hour direct flight from Miami into San Jose, which is the capital. The country contains very different ecosystems. Both coasts have beautiful beaches running the length of the country that attract surfers and sports people from all over the world. The interior part of the country is mountainous, and it hosts around 100 volcanoes, 6 of which are considered active according to Encyclopedia Britannica. The climate is consistently moderate, with temperatures typically in the 70s and 80s, but there are 2 seasons in Costa Rica, the wet season and the dry season. The wet season ranges from spring to fall, and the dry season typically goes from fall to spring. It's much better to travel during the dry season due to flooding and mudslides that are pretty prevalent within the area. As with travel to most international countries, there are pros and cons to visiting Costa Rica. On slide 3, you'll see that some of the pros include the large variety of things you can do there, the country's focus on health and well-being, and all of the natural beauty. This small country has a lot for everyone and every traveler's taste. According to TripAdvisor, the most popular areas in Costa Rica are Arenal for the large active volcano, Monteverde for the cloud forest, Manuel Antonio for sloths and a large national park, and Jaco for surfing and water sports. Condé Nast reports that Costa Rica is perfect for year-round health and wellness destinations with world-class yoga, spas, and hot springs set against a natural landscape of beauty. And Fodor's Travel has reported that Costa Rica delivers some of Central America's best vacation experiences. The cons to Costa Rican travel can include those mudslides that I mentioned, the risk of disease, the crime rate, and substandard roadway systems. During the rainy season, mudslides are fairly common, especially in the interior areas. Much of the entire country is rural, and rain onslaughts force the mud from higher elevations into the lower basins, effectively cutting off roads and some of the utilities in their path. According to a peer-reviewed journal article in Scientific Electronic Library online, dengue fever has made a comeback in Costa Rica. This is a mosquito-borne illness that's fairly similar to malaria. Per the U.S. Embassy in Costa Rica, there is crime. It's mostly focused around theft and nonviolence in and around the capital of San Jose. But just like any other major city center, you as a tourist just have to be vigilant and careful. The roadways you have to use to travel to get anywhere in the country are poorly maintained and mountainous. In fact, Lonely Planet says that these roadways are simply not for the faint of heart. In conclusion, I will end by saying that every country and every travel experience has risks and rewards. Costa Rica has something for everyone, and it has diverse ecosystems and experiences. And if you decide to visit, you have to be a smart traveler, and you have to make sure you know the pros and the cons, and that you reduce your risks and enhance your rewards. Just like any other country, there are safe ways to travel to and from Costa Rica. And if you choose to, you'll go and you'll have the trip of a lifetime. Thank you very much for your time today. I'll take any questions from the audience.
Do you need a visa to go to Costa Rica or a passport?
Thank you for the question. You do need a passport. You do not need a visa. However, you do have to show that you have a round trip ticket. They don't want you to come with an open-ended ticket that might mean that you plan to stay for a long, extended period of time. Any other questions?
Do you have a favorite memory from a trip that you could concisely share with us?
It would have to be ziplining up in the at the Arenal volcano. It was my first time ziplining. It's the highest zip line in the country, and it was about 2,700 feet in the air, going over rivers and waterfalls. Whenever I had my eyes open, it was beautiful. The rest of the time they were really tightly clenched, but it was fantastic.
What kind of currency is there in Costa Rica? Is it?
The Costa Rican currency is colones, and you can easily convert American dollars into colones anywhere. Do not do it at the airport because the exchange rate is too high, but you can do it anywhere within the country. However, they also accept US money pretty much anywhere you go.
And I have one more. I know you mentioned the volcanoes. Is it safe to stay near where the volcanoes are at, or how does that work?
So there are actually eco lodges that are really close to the volcanoes that are a little close, too close for comfort for me. It's safe because the way that the volcano is structured, when it does erupt, it flows out on one side. So the eco lodges are all strategically positioned on the opposite side of the volcano. So for all intents and purposes, it's safe, but you have to have some courage, I think, to get too close. You never know when they're going to erupt. Is that it? Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Good job.